Hello, everyone. Welcome to the therapy room. I am Shay Marriott. As always, we bring amazing therapists from the Center of Child Development here to meet with you. Today, I have field supervisor and therapist Shanice Reid. Welcome to the therapy room.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Shanice, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I'm a field supervisor for the Christina School District. So I basically act as the liaison for the school contact and the therapist assigned to the school. So I kind of just get them set up any issues, any problems at the school. The therapist or the contact person at the school can contact me, take any consents, referrals, anything like that. And then also, I'm a school-based therapist at four schools. I mainly work with middle school and elementary school children.
Okay. Do you know off the top of your head, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, exactly what schools you're at?
Currently, I'm at McVeigh Elementary, Aspera, K through 8, Joseph E. Johnson, and Shumadale Middle School.
Okay, great. Reason why I wanted to put that out there, just in case if someone is looking and they are looking to connect their child, they'll know exactly what schools you are
hmm
located at. So Shanice, how has it been for you actually working with the children in the schools where a lot of the behaviors may be occurring?
Um, I actually love working in the schools. I love social work. I love being a therapist. I love connecting, giving a voice to the voiceless, advocating, all of those things. So I actually love working in school. And then I also love being able to have that communication with the families because sometimes they don't really understand what the kiddos are experiencing. So that's my job to help bring clarification and understanding to that so that sometimes they don't know how to properly handle what the child is experiencing. So I love working with the families as well.
Yeah, that's great. And we really appreciate everything that you do. So the one thing that comes to mind is now that the kids are actually back in school, and we know it's been some time now that they have been back in school in person, but working virtually during the COVID era and now having kids back in school in person, have you noticed an increase um, in anxiety or depression in regards to the kids because of what happened with COVID?
Um, I do see it sometimes because like they haven't been in school for a very long time. So
Mhm.
one, they're not used to interacting with their peers. Also, I seen that test taking is like a huge thing, them like having anxiety over that and kind of just wanting to do well because some people worked out well with the virtual and some people it didn't. So like having to get back into the swing of like kind of feeling pressured or having like all these eyes on you. Whereas when you're taking a test or doing something virtually, you kind of are at ease a little bit. You kind of get to move at your own pace. And then being back at school where you're back on the schedule, you're switching classes, is a bunch of people there. You got to interact. You have to have lunch and recess. So it's like you kind of don't really know how to talk to people anymore. So it kind of just depends. But I have seen definitely post COVID anxiety has rose or
Yeah.
risen with some of those things.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I can imagine probably more social anxiety than
Mhm.
anything. I know a lot of the kiddos had a very hard time just even getting to school, not even mentioning about being able to be in school a whole day.
Yeah, some people wasn't even making it out the car.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
very
I know that was
challenging.
huge.
Yeah. I mean, so let's take that. If somebody is still experiencing issues with just getting to school, and I know a lot of kids are still struggling with that. As a parent, can you give one or two tips as to what they can do to try to encourage their child?
I think one is patience because it's like a new world all over again.
Mhm.
Some kiddos were taken out of school before they like even really got into school, like being so young. Some people transitioned to middle school, so if they was taken out and they was just getting into fifth grade or just
Right,
starting middle school, they
right.
don't know what that experience is. Some kids are just getting into first, second grade, they didn't really have that experience. So just have a little bit of patience because this is still unfamiliar territory for a lot of kids as they didn't really get to start anything or do anything.
Yeah.
So I think one is just having patience, and then two, just trying to be understanding of what their experience is, and then also just showing that support, like, okay, I understand,
Mhm.
I can help you through, but school is necessary. It's all about it's not really what you say, it's how you say it.
You
So as
say,
long as they feel
yeah.
like supported in that moment, they'll want to start as well. But if it's kind of like badgering or like aggressive, like you better get into school, they're
Right.
kind of like, it's like, whoa, now I'm anxious from school and I'm scared you yelling at me. So I think it's just all about your demeanor and showing that they have your support.
Absolutely. I think you really make a great point there because I think sometimes, you know, as adults, we kind of think we shouldn't show the younger generation, the kids, any respect, and you have to respect them. They're human. They're human.
Mhm.
So showing respect and being able to acknowledge and validate their little feelings is important for them. You know, it's important for them. So I totally agree with what you're saying. So I know you said that your reasoning of getting into therapy and you love what you do is to give a voice to the voiceless, and it's so important. So we may have some people that are interested in becoming a therapist. We have a lot of people that are going to be graduating in 2024 and may not know exactly what it is that they want to do. Perhaps they may choose being a social worker. Um,
Mhm.
but I would like to know what made you choose that field? How did you know this was the field for you?
It's funny because I didn't. When I first went to school, I was a nursing major, and I was just like, "Ooh, I'm being a nurse." Like, I thought for a very long time that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And then when I went into my first nursing class and she was like, "You have to dissect the cat," I was like, "Maybe this isn't for
Ah,
me." Um, so I actually was undecided my entire freshman year at Delaware State University. So after that
Hornets? Okay, Hornets.
So after that, I was just like, okay, I know I wanted to help people, but I wasn't quite sure how. So I took my whole freshman year, like trying to figure that out. And I met with my advisor, and she was just like, you would be the perfect social worker. Like, you're always helping, you're always there for people, you're so reliable, all
Nice.
of these things, you should just check it out. And then when I really got into it, I'm like, I could really be a social worker. Like, I
Mhm.
think this is something for me. So it
Mhm.
kind of just stuck from there. And I was just like, this is what I wanted to do. And then the population I wanted to work with, I always thought I wanted to work with single mothers,
Mm,
survivors of domestic violence, um, all type of women. I
yeah,
thought that's what I wanted to do because I've witnessed my mom be so strong and do it on her own that I'm like, I know it's other people out here like
right,
struggling with
right.
this. So I'm like, this is what I wanted to do. But then I just became like, the head of the household, they do need their help, but I feel like the kiddos in there, they kind of get lost in the sauce, and
Mhm,
some of their feelings and experiences get overlooked
mhm.
and overshadowed by, oh, you're too young, you don't know what you're feeling. So,
Right, right.
I really, really can see myself in a school. Like, I think I need to be with kids, and it kind of just stuck from there. So it's kind of just about you knowing your personality and
Mhm.
knowing what your goal is. Like, what exactly are you trying to achieve? And then once you have that figured out, everything else will kind of fall into place.
Yes, absolutely. That was awesome advice. That was awesome advice. And it just goes to show that, you know, sometimes we do put pressure on our kids when and they're in their senior year or trying to, you know, make them figure it out what it is that you want to be, what do you want to do, what do you want to do. And I know I didn't know what I wanted to do and what, you know, what direction I was going. I think I started out as a computer engineering major, right? So I had no idea why,
Yeah.
but it just sounded good. But
Right.
it took later in life, I realized that no, my calling is to be a social worker, and that's what I did. It took me a little bit longer to figure that out, but that's just another thing to keep in mind, that we may not always know what exactly, it is that we want to do, but what is it
Mhm.
that you do well? And what is it that you enjoy doing? Because if you enjoy doing it, then that might be the thing for you to go after, right? So
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that, sharing your story.
Mhm.
Well, Shanice, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. How do people get in contact with you if they would like to refer their child for services?
So, of course, I'm in the schools, so either of the schools that I mentioned earlier, that's the best way to reach me. Email is the best way to reach me. The website, you could reach out on there, and it has my information, my number, and everything like that on there. So those are
Mhm.
like the best way. Email, it comes straight to my phone like a text message. So if you ever wanted to inquire about signing up for services, completing the consent, or just any information more about me, then that'll probably be the best way to contact me.
And what is your email?
So it's Shanice at the Center for Child Development.com.
Okay, perfect. And you can also, as she said, you can go to our website, the centerforchilddevelopment.com. And you on there you will see meet our clinicians. If you click on that link, it will take you right to Shanice picture and everything about her. From there you can then fill out a consent form and request her as your therapist. Okay. And then, of course, you can always call our office at 302-292-1334. Shanice, any last minute words?
No, that's it. If you want to reach me directly, just call that office number and then use extension 734.
Extension 734. There you go. Thank you,
Yeah.
Shanice. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of the Therapy Room, where we're bringing amazing therapists to you so you can get to know who your child is seeing, or if you need services yourself, you can reach out, fill out a consent form, and start your therapy journey. And always remember that we don't just service children, we also service adults here as well. Okay. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you, Shanice, for your time. Until next time, have a great week.